Sairam, dear children. In the last video we got to know that Krishna tells Arjuna about Karma Yoga. A Karma Yogi is one who does his work sincerely without any attachment to the results of the work. He is one who remains calm when both success and failure is there. When work is done selflessly and for the welfare of humanity, it leads one to God. The wise offer all their work to God with no selfish desire of their own, whereas the ignorant, they work only to fulfill their personal desires. Now comes the next scene where Krishna reveals to Arjuna that he is not the first person to know of this secret. The secret of happiness, of doing one's work honestly, whatever that work may be, expecting nothing in return. Krishna revealed that this secret has been revealed by him in the past to Vivaswan, who passed it on to his son Manu, who further passed it on to his son Ikshvaku, who passed it further down the line. But the truth tends to get changed, or it got lost from man to man, from generation to generation, just like what happens in a Chinese whisper. And that is why this truth was again being revealed to Arjuna, who was Krishna's best friend. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was no less startled at Krishna's words. "What?" he sputtered. "How could you have told Vivaswan anything? I know we are no longer young men, Krishna, but there is no way you could have been around when Vivaswan was." Krishna took a deep breath. What he was about to say was not something he expected Arjuna to swallow easily. Never mind that it was the truth. Bracing himself for complete disbelief from his friend, Krishna plunged in. "I have lived many lives before this one, Arjuna, and so have you. The difference is that I remember what all those lives were, and you don't. I don't need to be born as a human on earth, Partha, for I am the Lord of all creatures, who is never born and will never die. But," Krishna went on, "I choose time and again to take birth on earth." Arjuna stared, uncomprehending. Lord of all creatures? What in heaven's name could his friend mean? But Krishna was speaking again. The familiar beloved voice had a different tone to it now. It sounded almost otherworldly to Arjuna's suddenly hyper-attentive ears. Whenever righteousness dips and unrighteousness begins to rule the roast, that is, whenever dharma dips and adharma begins to rule the roost, O Bharata, I send forth myself to protect the good, to destroy the sins of the bad, and to make sure dharma returns to the land, righteousness returns to the land. I come into being in age after age. Men who understand this truth about me fly joyfully from fear, desire, and anger to find a safe harbor in me. The blazing white heat of this wisdom burns away their doubts and sets them free. They never need to be born again to suffer. Because, you see, Partha, Krishna smiled, such men become me. Now children, what is the lesson for us here? God or good will surely find a way. According to the Gita, the Supreme God comes to earth in different forms from time to time whenever the forces of evil try to disturb and destroy the world peace. The Lord comes down in the form of avatars to set everything right. You may or may not believe in Krishna. You might have belief in another God. You might have belief in another person who has been able to make a transformation. Basically, it's the God or the good principle which presides over all the other aspects. This is what has to be made note of. When any individual protects the good, destroys the bad, re-establishes order in society, and inspires others to live good lives themselves. Say for example, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Such people automatically have the godly principle in them. Here's a wonderful activity that you can engage in, children. Just make a list of all the people that you think are good people. Your list could include anyone from great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi to Mother Teresa to even a fruit seller who never forgets to smile at you despite being in a lot of physical pain. Next to each name, write down 1 or 2 qualities that you admire about that person and that you would like to emulate in your own life. Then start trying to actually follow the example. For example, every time you get upset or angry, just take a moment, pause for a moment, count from 1 to 10 and think about what that particular person would do in the same situation. Do the same. According to Sanatana Dharma, God isn't someone or something that lives outside of us. God actually lives within us. All we have to do is connect with Him. When we do, as Krishna said to Arjuna, we actually become Him. When you follow the example of good people, you are connecting to the good that lives inside you. By and by, if you work very hard, you will become it. In this context, there's a wonderful incident which was told by Brother Arvind regarding Satya Sai Baba. He had once asked Swami, "How do you say that God resides in everyone? When I see certain people, I don't see them as godly because of their bad qualities. How am I to understand that each one is God? How can we call him God?" That is when Swami revealed, when I say that you are God, you have to be conscious at every moment that you are God, right from the tiniest action that you perform. When you do it, you must think, is this what God will do? And then do it. When every time you are correcting your actions, thinking about God, automatically you become godly because of the good qualities that you imbibe. This is when the person is equal to God. This is exactly what Krishna has also told Arjuna. This is the Jnana Yoga, the yoga of self-realization.